Also this evening, a farewell reception was held for President S.R. Nathan at the Istana. The Prime Minister paid tribute to him, saying he raised the standing of the office.
As Mr. S.R. Nathan steps down from his presidency this week, the curtains close on his more than 50 years in the public service. In his 12 years as president, he was seen as warm and approachable. Paying tribute to his leadership, Prime Minister Loong noted how Mr. Nathan's role was particularly important during the global financial meltdown in 2008.
This episode is significant not just because it was the first time the government requested to draw on past reserves, and the President approved the draw. More importantly, the deliberate and responsible approach taken by both parties validated the working arrangements and set an important precedent on how the President and government will deal with future crises.
Mr. Lee also said Mr. Nathan quietly rendered help when he detected a need. For instance, Mr. Nathan personally sponsored needy students through universities or polytechnics. He also helped obtain special medical care for accident victims who are unable to afford full treatment. At the ceremony attended by political leaders and civil servants, Mr. Nathan said his years as president were satisfying and fulfilling. He shared how he had received much goodwill and affection from Singaporeans.
When I was sworn in as president in the year 1999, I said that I'll be a president for all Singaporeans, with every community of Singaporeans as my parish. I've tried to live up to that, engaging the different races and religious groups in every way possible. I am deeply touched by such affection shown to me by Singaporeans, and I will always cherish that memory.
Mr. Nathan added that looking back over his years in the presidency, what stood out for him is how Singaporeans and the government showed their ability to develop a society that lives in harmony.
Earlier on his last day of work, President Nathan shared his retirement plans with our reporter.
It's his daily morning ritual, and familiar faces and friends came to wish President S.R. Nathan well on his last day in office. For Mr. Nathan, this morning exercise regime along the East Coast Parkway has been a regular feature of his life, especially after his bypass operation many years ago. Mr. Nathan says he hopes to have fewer public engagements after his retirement.
Nothing is substantive in what I'm going to do. I don't want any responsibility. I want to be free to do what I want.
Besides joining the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies as Distinguished Fellow, Mr. Nathan told Channel News Asia that he will also spend time at the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies. His memoirs will be launched next month by Prime Minister Hsien. Mr. Nathan is confident that his account of his childhood, the war years and his career would make an interesting read. Asked if his successor, Dr. Tony Tan, would face more challenges in his role as president, with calls from various quarters for greater openness, Mr. Nathan had this to say.
One's duties is defined by the Constitution, and you cannot, however much the curiosity of the public may be there, I don't think whether him or his successor would want to be so transparent that the value of the prestige of the position gets lost. You can't have a presidency in the streets.
Mr. Nathan wrapped up his day at the Istana with a farewell party organized by staff who have worked with him for the past 12 years.
Well, as President Nathan steps down, observers tell us that over his 2 terms in office, he further strengthened the role of the elected president by performing his custodial and ceremonial duties with dignity and grace.
At Istana receptions, President S.R. Nathan brought the office of the head of state closer to ordinary people, obliging with a photograph and a smile. A former social worker, Mr. Nathan also took special interest in promoting the sector. He started the President's Challenge, which over the past decade has raised over $100 million for 500 organizations.
So when he first conceived President's Challenge, he wanted it to be really about people coming together so that they understand social needs of people, and in the process feel that they want to contribute and do something for other people.
As Singapore's chief diplomat, Mr. Nathan understood the complexities of foreign relations gleaned from his years as ambassador. In his regular interactions with the government, he maintained that he wasn't in a boxing match, preferring a softer, quieter approach. Observers say it's a point that's not often appreciated by the public.
One of the most important role of the president is to be able to work well with the government, because he chose to do all his things with humility, which means he avoid all the drama and thing, does not make it less effective.
Observers sense a growing desire among some Singaporeans for the president to be more visible in carrying out his custodial powers. They say Mr. Nathan's approach may be seen as too traditional.
If he was to run today, after the general election, it would be much more difficult. But as it was in his time, I think clearly in the first term, right to the end, I would say he's won the respect of people both inside Singapore and also outside. Not by being somebody who he isn't, not pretending to be sort of guardian over the Prime Minister, but respecting his role and respecting the need to connect to the ground as well as to the Prime Minister to make sure that Singapore runs efficiently.
By forging a consultative relationship with the government and by serving as a unifying figure, observers say Mr. Nathan has raised the bar for others to follow in his footsteps.